Well, good morning. Pastor Greg here, Faith Lutheran Church, Harvey, North Dakota, coming to you with my midweek message. A little devotion time. It's November 10th, if you can believe that, 2021. And we are off and running towards the Thanksgiving and Christmas seasons and all those other seasons that happen during this particular time and our days get shorter and our busyness gets busier and all that stuff. So I remind you just today to take a moment and rest and think about the Lord and take time for yourself and all of those things that are important in life. So do that. It's like I said, it's the middle of November. Advent, the first Sunday of Advent is just around the corner, the 28th. We have some things coming up here. You know, we normally do an Advent service, but we do a service on Wednesday evening anyway. And so I'm still developing an idea of how we can work that in. But I'll give you more information on that as we go along. The other, I guess you want to know what's going on here in the church. Of course, we had our annual meeting on Sunday, and we did all the busyness of the church. So there's some thankfulness for that. Thanks for those who did all the reports, those who had any questions, those who brought up things. It's important for us to remember to do that business of the church. I call it the busyness of the church, but it really is just as important as all other things that I'm going to touch on. What's important as well in my short devotion a little bit. Of course, we elected new officers, so I welcome back David Laut. He's also been elected as the president. We elected Scott Nitz. Those are both for 3-year terms, and Alice Summer was filling in for a short term, and so she was elected to a 2-year term. They also elected Kevin Roller as vice president and Diana Rogest as secretary. So keep them in your prayers as they move forward. I want to thank those who put the meal together for Sunday. It was a wonderful meal and a wonderful time to fellowship in between worship and the meeting. So many thanks for all of that. As it goes. Coming up here this Sunday, nothing real special going on, but the following Sunday we'll have the Sparks from, I think it's Musana, Uganda Ministries will come and join us and get us an update of one of the ministries that we share, that we help, that we assist financially, and there's been some trips down there as well, which is good, just as good as anything else. So that's what's coming up. I just remind you of Thanksgiving, which is just 2 weeks away. There will be the office will be closed for those 2 days. Also, Marilyn would like anything that you want in the newsletter to her immediately. Because of Thanksgiving and because of where the last day falls, things have to be finished up before Thanksgiving, so that it can be ready to go. So please help with that process and all that. Days are getting shorter. It's getting cooler. Snow in the forecast for this weekend, 2 inches or so. It'd be nice to see that aspect of our lives again, and hopefully we'll get a good amount of snow over the winter to kind of help fill that lack of moisture. So. I think that's it. Just continue to join us on Wednesday nights if you're looking for an opportunity to worship. Come at 6:30. Short worship service. We sing some songs, short message. We do some prayer, and we're on our way. That's kind of what we have. So that's or if you know of anyone, actually, anyone who's looking for a church home. Wednesday night is it's a non-threatening way to join in to a congregation with people people you're comfortable with, and a good opportunity to see what church can be about. So invite people or just join us, one of the two. We'd be glad to have you. Well, that's what I'm going to say about that. I've been going on too long already. So the text I'm looking at right now for Sunday is the Hebrews text, and it's verses 11 through 25, but really you can kind of concentrate on 19 through 25. So if you want to stop and read that, that's what you would want to read, and then come back to me and restart me up, and go from there, or you just plow through. So the verses I'm really looking at is 24 and 25, and it's interesting. He says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works." How do we stir up one another to help? That's, as Christians, that's what we're called to do. We're called to stir up each other, to help, and do good works. That's not our salvation. Our salvation comes through Jesus Christ, but it's definitely our responsibility to help remind people of the importance of loving our neighbor and of doing good works for our neighbor. And then verse 25 is kind of really where I want to spend some time today. It's not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another. And all the more as you see the day drawing near. And that has to do with the end times and so forth. But, that's not what I'm really focusing on, not neglecting to meet together. Now, this congregation here, Faith Lutheran, is faithful. We've got good, faithful people who come on Sunday. But we still have some people who, from the beginning of time, we've not seen. We have people who struggle to get to church. We have people who have found it to be more comfortable to sit in their couch and entertain church. And I'm not. I tell you all the time, I am not the church police. I'm not here to insist that you come to church. I'm just telling you, biblically, we're called to gather together, to meet together. And we do that face to face because there's a connection. There's a connection when you're in the same spot. I truly believe that our involvement into one another in relationship cannot be done via electronics. I mean, we can keep up with one another. I have friends from college, friends from high school that I keep up with on Facebook and some other social media aspects, but really, what it really boils down to it, being in the same place all at once, there's a connection. That's this physical connection. I don't know if it's psychological or physical. I'm not here to develop that. The importance for us to not neglect to meet together. We meet together because we want to support each other. We want to build each other up. We want to have a support system. And you don't have that support system if we're not together. There is a support system, but don't get me wrong, but it's a stronger support system when we gather together and we learn about each other and we focus on each other. And that is so important to do. Now, yes, if you're not feeling well, or if you still feel that you're at risk in larger groups, then do stay home. And certainly gathering in worship online is an acceptable way, but try at some point to step back in, to become back part of a relationship that's in person and not impersonal as the media is. So I'm not judging anybody. That's not my intent. I'm not here to coerce anybody. I'm just here to remind you that the Lord loves you, that our salvation comes from Jesus Christ, and that we should gather together and not neglect it, to praise each other and to lift each other up in prayer and to just fellowship with each other, to be reminded of all the things that God has done for us. Yeah, I'm going to just stop there. That's what I got to say. All right, so prayers this week. Well, pray for our leadership as they begin a new group. That's always important for leadership to be prayed for. Pray for your pastors all over. They need prayer. But today I focus on peace. I think I did that either last week or a week before, because that's just kind of where I am. The world is just crazy. And if you read the texts for today, you'll know that some of that stuff is just, it's part of what's happening. Jesus tells us in Mark, where is it here? And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is not here yet. We don't know the end time, so pray for peace. The peace that surpasses all understanding from the Lord himself. Because there's evil in the world. And so pray for that. Then take a moment and pray for an individual. You know what? Pray for somebody that you know is in a different state. There you go. I'll give you a specific person to pray for. Somebody you know that's in a different state. So enjoy that time together with the Lord as you pray. And I give you blessings and peace from the Lord our Savior, Jesus Christ. And as I always say, do take care.